أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء وخاتم المرسلين سيدنا ونبينا بالقاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين واللعنة الدائمة الباقية على أعدائهم من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه الكريم: واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. صلوات. For tonight's Thursday night Majlis, I selected the last part of the ayat from Surah Nisa, the very first ayat, the last section of it, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the concept of taqwa regarding himself and regarding the relatives. It's interesting that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He wants to emphasize a point, He always links those issues which are less known to be important with the ideas and the concepts which are very obvious in the eyes of Muslims that this is important. And sometimes we do it even in our common language. For example, if you look at oil, when, in order to show the importance of that, in English they call it black gold. Gold is solid, oil is liquid. Gold is shining, oil is dark. There are no comparison, but because the importance or the value of gold is known universally, and so to show the importance of oil as far as value is concerned, they use the same name for it. And this is where we have to realize that in Quran also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He's talking to us, He looks at the human way of expression. And this you will see in many different places. For example, when He talks about the importance of giving qarz hasan, which means a loan where you don't charge interest. He says that, who is the one who will give me loan? Although you are giving the loan to somebody else, to a fellow human being, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala relates that to Himself, just to show the importance that when you go and give a loan to somebody without asking for interest, it's as if you are dealing with me, and I will give you the compounded interest, but not in this dunya, in the akhirah, or maybe in dunya without you realizing it. And so this is where we see that even when it comes to human relationships, there are 4 places where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He talks about kindness to the parents, just to emphasize the point that to be kind to the parents is so important, that He has linked that with the issue of Tawheed. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَنْ لَا تَعْبُدُ إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ. For example, one ayah says that Allah has given you this decree, this is His command, that you will not worship anyone but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Worshipping Allah alone is Tawheed. Immediately then He says, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Where is Tawheed? Where is Nubuwwat? Where is Imamat? Where is Qiyamat? No, He talked about Tawheed first. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَنْ لَا تَعْبُدُ إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ. You will not worship anyone but Allah. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Immediately then He talks about being kind to the parents. Why does He do that? They are no relevance in the theme. They are completely different. But the way He puts this one with the other is just to show the importance that, respecting your parents, to be kind to them, is also very important after worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's in the same style of speech that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Nisa, ayat number 1, at the end He says, وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهِ. Fear Allah, which actually means fears displeasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. الَّذِي تَسَاءَلُونَ بِهِ you actually use His name, Allah's name, to seek help from one another. Wal arham. This arham is linked with Allah. It could be as if wattaqullaha wal arham. Fear displeasing Allah and also be concerned about your arham. Arham means relatives. And this is where, I would like to actually go to two ahadith from our imams in the tafsir of this ayat. Salawat pradhek para. Both are from Sheikh Kulaini in his Kafi. One is from Jamil bin Darraj, who asked the sixth imam about the tafsir of this ayat. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ الَّذِي تَسَاءَلُونَ بِهِ وَالْأَرْحَامِ. And this is where, Imam says, هِيَ أَرْحَامُ النَّاسِ. When Allah talks about arham is plural of rahim. And rahim here, literally the word rahim means womb. But arham or zawil arham means those who are related from the same mother, means they come from the same womb. Means in other words, the better term in English would be blood relatives. They are related by blood. And so it's about the arham here. Imam says, وَهِي أَرْحَامُ النَّاسِ. These are the blood relatives of one another. إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَعَزَّ وَجَلَّ أَمَرَ بِصِلَتِهَا وَعَظَّمَهَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the command to maintain that relationship, which He has established on your basis of the blood relationship. وَعَزَّمَهَا. عَزَّمَهَا means He has glorified this concept, emphasized, given more importance to it. أَلَا تَرَى أَنَّهُ جَعَلَهَا مِنْهُ. Don't you see that He has actually linked that with Himself? And so Imam says, placing this beside wattaqullah is a way of saying that this is a very serious issue. And it is such an issue that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the end in that ayat says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ عَلَيْكُمْ رَقِيبًا. Verily Allah is watchful over you. Means He is monitoring what you are doing. And He is going to question you about, not only the taqwa of Allah, but even concern about, the relatives. Another hadith on the same ayat, actually from the sixth imam again, but from another of his companion by the name of Ibn Abi Umair, where Imam says, remember here, arham, people should not misunderstand that, because Imam says, نُزِلَتْ فِي رَحْمِ آلِ مُحَمَّدٍ عليه وعليهم السلام وقد تكون في قرابتك. Imam says this word arham here, relatives, refers to both levels. It even refers to the relatives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so in that tafsir, Imam is saying that Allah is saying, be careful about me, and also be careful about the relatives of Rasul. But then He says, وَقَدْ تَكُونَ فِي قَرَابَتِكَ. And it can also be applied on your relatives. And so it's not that this ayat is only for the Ali Muhammad, but it is also for the qarabat of our own people, our own relatives. And this is where we see the issue of, Silatul Rahim has been greatly emphasized in ayah, in Quran, in many ayat. To the extent, I will say, that the ayat about namaz, number-wise, are less than the ayat about Silatul Rahim, and the opposite of that, Qita'ur Rahim. If you put all positive and negative ayat together, where Allah says maintain the relationship and do not cut off the ties with those who are related to you, if you put all these ayat together, you will see they are more than the ayat which talk about namaz. And that is also we have to realize that Islam, gives great emphasis on maintaining the family relationships. Salawat. Sometimes people, an imam in the hadith that I quoted earlier here, he also makes a point here. Don't be misguided, those who would say that here arham only means the relatives of Rasulullah. It also means your own relatives. And then he says, ولا تكونن ممن يقول للشيء أنه في شيء واحد. And do not be among those who say that this ayat only applies for one case, and that is Ali Muhammad. No, it's Ali Muhammad as well as your own relatives. And this is where we see there is a concept, according to Allama Tabatabai, he says, the ayat of Quran flow. What it means by that you might see that it was revealed in one circumstances, but it might find its own, application in another situation, maybe later on. And this is where we see that there are some ayat, all the ayat, of course, were revealed during the days of the Prophet, but many times the Imam during their own times later on would apply that this ayat is about me. So it doesn't mean that it was kind of, suspended when it came to Rasulullah until, let's say, the days of the 5th Imam or 6th Imam or 8th Imam. No, it means that, during the days of Rasulullah it would have one application, but it has its own jariyan, its own flow, and it can apply to another situation also. Salawat. For example, the ayat we have, أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ الْمُسْتَرِّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ. Under this, which means is that, who is the one who responds to a person who is in distress? In tafsir of this ayat, there are ahadith which say that the most distressed person would be the Imam of our time. Ajalallahu ta'ala faraj sharif. When he will come between the Rukn and Maqam in Masjid al-Haram, he will pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Well, it doesn't mean that this ayat, is only for him. That is the jiryan of the Quran. That's the jira of the ayat. Otherwise, there would be no sense for us, reciting for our, maris and people who are in distress. No, that would be the kind of a supreme application of that ayat when Imam comes. But it doesn't stop from that ayat to be applied in other normal situations. As far as the importance of Silatul Rahim is concerned, just 2-3 points here. That when it comes to the issue of giving charity, for example, when we talk about sadaqah, you will see that the Imams have emphasized that those who are near to you in relationship, they deserve the first right in being helped than others. And this is where we see, for example, there is a statement by the Ma'asum where he says, La sadaqata wa zu rahim muhtaj. You can't give sadaqah to somebody outsiders while somebody who is related to you is in need. It means your sadaqah is to go to the person who is in need. Of course, we don't need to then generalize there and say, okay, we'll only give to the people of our own community because they are all rishtadar somehow. No, we are talking about real, relatives here. There is another hadith from the Ma'asum where he says, as-sadaqata al-miskin sadaqa. When you give sadaqah and charity to the miskin, the poor, that is, the beggar, that is sadaqah. وَهِيَ عَلَى ذَوِي الرَّحْمِ sadaqatun wasila. When you are giving to a relative, it is sadaqah as well as fulfilling the command of silatul rahim, maintaining the ties of relationship that you have with that person. Another point which shows the importance of the relatives is the issue of writing of the will. We talked about it many times. We have so many seminars. In Islam, when we talk about the estate, there are two parts of it. 2/3, the deceased has no right about it. It has to be distributed among the heirs according to the Sharia law. 1/3 is where the deceased had a right to make a will and say, I want this to be used in this way or that way. It could be to individuals, it could be to institutions. And they're talking about 1/3. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمْ إِذَا حَضَرَ أَحَدُكُمُ الْمَوْتِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enjoins upon you that when death comes to you, إِن تَرَكَ خَيْرًا الْوَصِيَّةِ لِلْوَالِدَيْنِ وَالْأَقْرَبِينَ. It is good that if he leaves a will, referring to the 1/3, regarding the parents and the relatives. Aqrabin means relatives. But the parents also have been mentioned there. Although parents are part of the 2/3 also. In the 2/3, they have their share. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that if you think that the 2/3 share from it of the father and the mother would be less than what they need, then you can use your 1/3 to give to them also, or a portion of it. And so this issue of relatives is also important when we are talking about distribution of our wealth, especially in 1/3 after we pass away. And one more point about it is the issue of some of the things as far as exchanging money or gifts are concerned. The rules are different between relatives and non-relatives. If you give a gift, in Sharia it's known as a hiba or hadiyah. Hadiyah can be of two types, conditional or non-conditional. Conditional means you just give it and that's it, you forgot about it. Conditional means you can put a condition there, that you use only in this way, or you can say, if don't use it, I want it back. You can put whatever conditions you want. You can do this with those that you give the gift to them, but when it comes to somebody who is blood relative, once the gift is given, it's gone. You can't ask back for it. This happens in marriage cases. Husband's family gives gift to the girl, and the girl's family gives gift for the boys, and then things don't work out, and then they say, all the gifts we want it back. Remember, if they are first cousins, it's gone. If it's gone, you can't ask back once you've given a gift to somebody who is related to you. So this is where we see even relationship has certain privilege as far as even gifts are concerned, that you cannot ask back. If they are not related by blood and if the gifts are still there, you can ask back for it. But if it has all been used or disposed or somehow, then of course there is no issue of asking back. Salawat pranay para. But I want to go to towards the end of the majlis, just emphasize the relationship that we have with Ali Muhammad. Because the sixth Imam said that, this ayat can be applied on both levels. Remember, according to Amir al-Mu'mineen, all the ayat of Quran has 7 levels in appearance and 7 levels in depth. And so there is no contradiction. You can have, 2 different levels of the application of the ayat of Quran. And so when we talk about our relationship with the Ali Muhammad, that is also, considered to be that is the crucial point as far as salvation in the hereafter is concerned. There are hadiths where we are told, where the Prophet says to the Ummah, he says, me and Ali are abawa hadhihi al-Ummah. We are the fathers of this Ummah. And the Qurba, the ayat of ayat al-Qurba is there. Well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded the Muslims to love the family of the Prophet. Unfortunately, we see that, the Muslims have not really respected this, injunction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the command of Allah, in the way it should have been. But let me end with one hadith before I go to Masaib. where the Prophet talks about himself and his family and the Shia of his family. A very beautiful hadith. This has been quoted by Sheikh Mufid, where it says, the Prophet says, "Ana shajaratun," I am a tree. Wa Fatimatu far'uha, and Fatima is the branch of that tree. Wa Aliyun liqa'uha, and Ali has been, transplanted on that tree. Wal Hasan wal Hussein thamaruha, and Hassan and Hussein are the fruits of that tree. So it's a very beautiful example that he is giving. I am the tree, Fatima is the branch, Ali has been implanted into that tree, and Hassan and Hussein are the fruits of that tree. Wa muhibbuhum, then he talks about us. He says, those who love them, min ummati waraqahu, they are the leaves of that tree. So each one of us are linked to Ali Muhammad by that relationship of the tree. That Rasul is the tree, and Fatima is the branch, and Ali is the transplanted part of it, and Hassan and Hussein are the fruits of that tree, and the Shias are the leaves of that tree. The Salafis and the Wahhabis who go around killing Shias, they don't realize that, every year, when we go through the fall season, the leaves fall down. But the tree is always standing. They don't realize that by killing the Shias, the most they are doing is they are basically, pulling the leaves away from the tree. But they don't realize that the blood of the Shias don't go in vain. Because that leaves, when it goes in the ground, turns into energy for that tree. And this is where we say the Shuhada, their blood never goes in vain. It actually becomes the source of power and energy for this shajara of Ali Muhammad. Salawat. When we talk about people attacking the Ali Muhammad, they can't get hold of them now, so they try to demolish their shrines. उन तक तो पहुँच नहीं सकते हैं. मुतवक्किल की तरह आप देख लें, इमाम हुसैन अलैहिस्सलाम की क़ब्र को उसने मिटाने की कोशिश की. उस ज़माने में कुछ शिया शुअरा थे जिन्होंने कुछ अशार कहे हैं मुतवक्किल के ख़िलाफ़, जिसका मफ़हूम यही है कि लगता ये है कि बनु अब्बास, यानी ख़ुसूसन ये खुलफ़ा जो बाद में आए हैं, इनके दिल में ये हसरत रह गई कि काश हम करबला में होते, हुसैन का खून करते. लेकिन वो हसरत पूरी नहीं हुई, तो अब ये हमला करते हैं हुसैन के क़ब्र पर. सामर्रा पर जो अटैक हुआ है, जन्नतुल बकी को जो मुनहदिम किया है सलफ़ियों ने, ये दर हकीकत सिर्फ ये ग्रेव्स की बात नहीं है. लगता है कि इन्हें हसरत रह गई थी कि ये वहाँ करबला में नहीं थे, यजीदी लश्कर में, कि जहाँ हुसैन और हुसैन के घरवाले और असहाब को वो कत्ल करते. तो अपनी वो हसरत को पूरा करते हैं इस शक्ल में. या अगर उनका हाथ नहीं पहुँचता है उन तक, तो फिर अली के शियों पर हमला करते हैं. लेकिन इन्हें नहीं मालूम है कि जहाँ तक शुहदा है, उनका खून जो है कभी भी बेसमर नहीं है, ये हदर में नहीं है, बल्कि इसकी एक ताकत है. ये मज़हब, ये कौम जो है मजबूत से मजबूत होती चली जाएगी. सदियों से ये सिलसिला चल रहा है. आप सोच लें कि अगर बाद में ये सब जो हुआ है, आप कह सकते हैं सेंचुरीज़ की बात है, वो सेंसिटिविटी जो है रिश्तेदारी की, वो शायद ये न समझ सकें. लेकिन करबला तो सिर्फ रसूल की वफ़ात की ओनली 50 ईयर्स की बात है. अभी भी कुछ लोग थे, कम ही सही, जिनको याद है वो मंज़र के रसूल इस्लाम ख़ुद जो है हुसैन को अपने गोद में बैठाते थे, बोसा लेते थे, मोहब्बत करते थे. यहाँ तक कि नमाज में अगर सजदे के आलम में हुसैन पुश्त पे बैठ जाते हैं, तो इमाम जमात की हैसियत से मस्जिद में इमाम जमात में, नमाज जमात में भी जो है रसूल इस्लाम जो है उठते नहीं हैं. इन तमाम बातों को देखने के बाद भी حسین ابن علی نے عاشور کے دن جو ہے کئی خطبوں میں اس بات کی وضاحت کی ہے تاکہ قیامت کے دن یزیدی لشکر میں کوئی نہ رہے جو یہ کہے کہ ہمیں معلوم نہیں تھا یہ کون ہے، اور بار بار اس رشتے کو بتاتے ہیں، اور وہ خونی رشتے کو، رحم کا جو رشتہ ہے، الست ابن بنت نبیکم، کیا ہم تمہارے نبی کے بیٹے کے فرزند نہیں ہیں؟ یعنی اپنا انٹروڈکشن کرواتے ہیں فاطمہ الزہرا کے ذریعے. اور یہ صلۃ الرحمی کا ایک سلسلہ ہے جو حسین ابن علی وہاں بتانا چاہ رہے تھے تاکہ یہ قیامت کے دن نہ کہہ سکیں کہ ہمیں معلوم نہیں تھا. لیکن اس کے بعد بھی انہوں نے کیا کیا ہے؟ حسین کو قتل کیا ہے. دیکھیے ہمارے یہ جملہ ہم ہمیشہ کہتے بھی ہیں، آج دوبارہ ہم کہہ دیں گے کہ ہمارے ائمہ کے بارے میں سوائے حضرت حجت کے یہی کہا جاتا ہے نا کہ سب کے سب جو ہیں وہ شہید ہیں، زیادہ تر جو ہے وہ زہر کے ذریعے ہیں، صرف 2 حضرات کے سلسلے میں تلوار کا استعمال ہوا ہے. لیکن علی کو صرف ضربت لگی تھی، 2 دن کے بعد شہادت واقع ہوتی ہے. حسین ابن علی کی شہادت در حقیقت قتل ہے. یہ عنوان ذبح ہے، اس لیے امام رضا علیہ السلام ابن شبیب سے ہی کہتے ہیں کہ ابن شبیب اگر تجھے کسی بات پر رونا ہے تو میرے جد حسین ابن علی پر رونا. کیوں؟ لأنه یذبح، اس لیے کہ انہیں ذبح کیا گیا تھا. کما یذبح الکبش، جس طرح سے دمبے کو ذبح کیا جاتا ہے. عزیزان حسین، وہ منظر اسی لیے ہم لوگ حسین کو ذبیح اللہ کہتے ہیں کہ انہیں ذبح کر کے انہیں شہید کیا گیا تھا. اور یہی بات ہے کہ جب بھی حسین ابن علی کے فرزند جب بھی مدینہ میں اگر بازار سے گزرتے تھے، اگر قصاب کی نظر پڑ جاتی تھی تو وہ اپنے گوشت وغیرہ پر چادر ڈال دیتا تھا کہ امام کی نظر نہ جائے. لیکن پھر بھی امام کبھی قریب آتے تھے اور اس سے پوچھتے تھے کہ اے قصاب بتاؤ کہ اس جانور کو ذبح کرنے سے پہلے تم نے پانی دیا تھا یا نہیں دیا تھا؟ وہ کہتا تھا مولا آپ کی جد کی سنت ہے کہ جانور کو ذبح کرنے سے پہلے اسے پانی دیا جائے. یقیناً ہم نے اس سنت پہ عمل کیا ہے. اس وقت حسین کے فرزند کہتے تھے لیکن ہائے میرے بابا، ان کو ایک قطرہ دیے بغیر ذبح کر دیا گیا. الا لعنت اللہ القوم الظالمین سیعلم الذین ظلموا ای منقلب ینقلبون. خداوند اس کے لیے بات قبول فرما، ہمارے گناہوں کو بخش دے، ہمارے توفیقات میں اضافہ فرما. خداوند شیعان علی جہاں بھی ہیں ان کو اپنے حفظ امان میں رکھ، تکفیری افواج کی تمام صلاحیتوں کو نیست و نابود فرما، امام کے ظہور میں تاجر فرما. ربنا تقبل منا انک انت السمیع العلیم.